Hey everyone, we are here in the final game between BeSt and Type B. Type B in the first game using the exact same strategy he used to beat Pure in the first set, and really has been proving himself this whole series as a pretty worthy adversary. BeSt, though, as Steve said, laying the smack down with a Pimpus build, just owning with +1 Corsairs, completely owning all of Type B's Mutalisks, and I am really excited, one, because we're going to get to see them play a final game, and this is actually looking to be a pretty good matchup between these guys. Two, because we finally get to see Return of the King. Yay! So we're going to see Return of the King now as this map, which is quite a more complex map than a lot of the ones that we've seen. It is favored in Protoss by 2 games, and there's only been like 20 games played. So not really a whole lot to see there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this map is a pretty balanced map, and so it makes for a good, set 3 or game 3 map. And unfortunately, though, I mean, I almost wonder if Type B might try to cheese again. I would say no, because it's a game 3, and he might just feel more comfortable playing standard. But really, the pressure's been put a lot back on Type B now, because BeSt is an awesome player, and really just beating Type B by such a huge margin in the last match is going to make Type B feel a little wavery about his plans.
Well, what sucks about how they do the OSL is that this is Type B's 5th game in a row. And this is just BeSt's 3rd game. I mean, BeSt is playing a standard set. Type B came off a 3-0 lead and then losing a game, and almost shamefully. I mean, that was a really hard loss. I mean, he lost his Mutalisk and just instantly GG just like that because he knew he was done. So, yeah, you're right. Pressure's on Type B. As much as I want to see another Protoss go through, man, I mean, Type B has played his heart out. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough loss either way for me, whether it's Type B who wins or whether it's, BeSt who wins. It's going to be tough. A couple things about this map, since we don't see it a whole lot. There is a downward ramp into your expansion. 2 of them, actually. There's 2 expansions around your main with a downward ramp into each of them, making them sometimes tougher to hold and block off. And then you also have an island expansion right next to your main that you have to kind of elevator down to, which is a mineral only. So, we could see that as an option. It's not going to be an expansion option for the first expansion. I very much doubt for BeSt. We could see that used as maybe a 3rd or a 2nd expansion if Type B does decide to go with something like that. I would imagine possibly some lurker play on this because he may be wanting to switch it up a little bit after just getting totally owned with Mutalisks. We'll just kind of have to see how it goes. It looks like he's probably going to go for a 12 hatch here, which is a pretty smart expansion. They are cross positions on a very large map, so I think that is the right thing to do in this case, and it is going to get scouted here second by BeSt.
And BeSt's probably going to go ahead as soon as he sees that expansion. He's going to just go straight to his Nexus. He's probably saving up to 400 right now. Hopefully he doesn't have to even waste any money on the cannons. Usually what a Protoss player will do is just wait and see, the timing of the pull from the Zerg, and based on that, he'll either put his cannons down quickly or, just skip the cannons and go straight to Nexus. The map was too small for him to just go straight into the Nexus without the Forge, but it looks like he is going to see that pull is going to be late, and we'll see what BeSt does in response to that.
Now, what intrigues me about this map is how Protoss has to wall in, because there are 2 downward ramps. There are 2 ways to get into that expansion area. So what happens a lot of times is that Protoss will kind of, Protoss never walls like Terran does, but they'll get a kind of a blockade up, and then if they do decide to get the 2nd expansion near them, the 2nd natural, they've already kind of have a blockade up at their 1st natural, and so it's a little bit tougher to hold the 2nd one. Good job harassing here and keeping the 2nd expansion going up. We're going to see a double expand here, and he may lose this drone. Oh, smart. Very smart. And getting all the health back. Oh, a pylon. Great job by BeSt. For those who don't know, when you're a drone and you're low in health, if you build a building and cancel it, the drone instantly regains all of its health back. So, once again, Type B playing really well, but BeSt one-upping him with that pylon that he could very well just go and cancel. It's done its job.
Well, now Type B is forced to put that hatchery in his natural expansion, so yes, he has 3 hatcheries, but he's not going to have the econ he wants to go against BeSt's double Nexus here. So BeSt is probably going to have a pretty good economic advantage if Type B can't hurry up and get that 4th hatchery back down. And in the meantime, he's just going to be building all drones. So it looks like we probably will see pretty standard. BeSt is just getting one cannon just to be a little safe, but overall he's pretty much optimized just towards straight economy. And it'll be interesting to see how he follows it up, but it looks like Lair going up for Type B, so the only really deviation he had to make was just putting his hatchery, in his secondary as opposed to having 3 hatches.
Right, and if BeSt, is unable to harass early on, it's going to even itself out because he'll be able to get the 4th hatchery, and he would have already gotten a hatchery at that location anyways, probably earlier on, because usually you go 2 expansions and then you build 1 extra hatchery and then possibly a 5th hatchery in your base, or you decide to go ahead and go for another expansion. So it's not throwing Type B off too much at this point. I didn't see if BeSt canceled that pylon or not at the top expansion area. They haven't shown it yet, and I can't. No, looks like BeSt actually still has it. So there is a pylon that has to be destroyed before Type B can make his expansion up there.
And one thing about this map is I do feel like the second expansion there, that's a little farther away, is kind of hard to hold. I mean, yeah, you can drop units down there though, but it takes a little while to get out there. So it's a little deceiving how close that really is, because it looks like it's pretty close. But we've seen a lot of, like you said, if you just send some Zerglings in there or some Zealots for the Protoss staying in there, it can be pretty easy to take that expansion out. So I would say that this map, in a little bit, the fact that you have so many expansions, close to you, can favor Protoss over Zerg or Terran over Protoss, because it has a tendency to just make you turtle, since you can get that free base behind you by just putting a shuttle or dropship back there and getting that free base. You can just sit on your base, and I don't think the game is ever going to make it really past the point where you'd ever be going past those 4 bases in your main area. Now if it did do that, it'd be really hard to hold those other bases. So I mean, I don't think any player is going to try to sneak anything, and wow, 3 hatcheries in a row, that's actually kind of a good building placement to keep BeSt out of there. But he's now got 5 hatcheries and the spire going up, so it looks like we probably will just see what he's been doing, which is the common just kind of 5 hatch Hydra build for Type B.
Well, Type B's been going more air actually, and although in the earlier games he did do some lurker play, and I would expect with all the ramps and everything, that's probably what we'll see is like a Hydra lurker build here. Yeah, he's going 5 hatch, he's going kind of Sauron Zerg build, which on a big map like this works pretty well against the Protoss if it does get to the late, mid-late game. Or it works well against the Protoss if it gets to the mid-late game. There's already 1 Overlord that went down. It looks like there's another Overlord that's going to go down. So, I mean, Type B is going to have to get some Hydras out fairly quickly here to try to fend off these Corsairs. And, we saw, of course, excellent Corsair micro last game. There goes a second Overlord down, and it looks like he's not quite in the deficit yet.
Well, I think...
yeah, he is.
I think BeSt is going to put a lot of pressure on here. At least I think he should. If you notice, Type B just put down a ton of buildings at once, so he wasn't really building units. He's only got those couple of lings out on the map. It will be interesting to see if he's actually building drones at his base now, or if he is going to build units. I kind of think he needs to build units, though, because BeSt does have that small little contingent force just moving around the map. And again, you don't want to lose that second expansion because it's far away. Oh, little surrounding that Dragoon. Dragoon is going to go down, so that's going to hurt. And wow, now these Zealots are surrounded too. This is really just bad for BeSt.
That was fantastic. Type B saw an opportunity, saw some out of position units, was